Hello fellow gaijins, welcome back to the channel. Today I want to go on with reading Yotsubato. I know it's been like a year or something, but I've decided I want to continue this series. Last episode we left off on this panel. So the story is about this guy here and his daughter, and they moved to a new place. Then this girl comes by, she's their neighbor, her name is Ayase, and she's a high schooler. And after some small talk, he tells her that Yotsuba, his daughter, has just vanished. And she's like, taihen, what? So she proposes that she wants to go look for her. And that is where we left off last time. Okay, as always, first I'll just read through it and then we'll go through every sentence and everything and I'll explain the grammar and so on. じゃあ私探してきましょうか。あ、いいんだ。いつものことだから心配しなくても。そうなんですか。あ、じゃあこの後私出かけますんで、その時それらしい子がいないか注意しておきます。ありがとう。変なやつだって思う子がいたら多分それ。はあ。じゃあ私探してきましょうか。Should I go look for her? Sagasu means to look for. Watashi is I. And kimashouka is, well, the form of having the te form in front of kuru. Te kuru means to go and do something and then come back. For example, itte kuru, itte kimasu is a really good example for that because this is just a set phrase, but it comes from this grammar that is very often used in many situations. And here, usually it's just when you want to do something real quick and then you'll come back right away. So, sagashite kuru. She just asks him if she should just go look for Yotsuba. And he answers with, ah, iinda. Iinda just means, oh, it's good. So, no, don't do that, it's alright. It's fine. いつものことだから心配しなくても。いつも means always. So, いつものこと is, it's a recurring thing. It's something that is always the case. So, こと means thing, right? That's why, だから心配しなくても。心配 means to worry. So, 心配する is to worry. And 心配 by itself is just the noun, worry. And he says 心配しなくても。しなくて is just the te form of the negation of 心配する. So, 心配しなくて. And then the mo is mo i. So he omits this e here, but usually you would say 心配しなくてもいい. And the mo i is it's okay if. So it's fine if you don't worry. In more natural English, it would just be it's don't worry about it. そうなんですか, she says after a quick hesitation, which is just, oh, is that so? そうですか? By itself would already be enough, but then you have this nan. And nan comes from nano. I've talked about this in this video. Here's an annotation if you want to learn more about this in depth, but it's basically just a answer to something that was taught to you. So if somebody tells you something that you didn't know with yo at the end of the sentence or with no at the end of a sentence, this is probably the best answer. そうなんですか? そうですか? そうなの? All of these mean the same thing, just in different politeness settings and different ways to phrase it. And here she uses it because this is new information to her. So she's like, oh, is that so? This is a set phrase, so you could actually use this exactly like this in a lot of situations. Then she says, ah, じゃあ. Oh, I see. So let's do it like this. じゃあ implies this, let's do it like that, or okay then. This kind of implication lies under this word. So whenever you hear somebody say じゃあ, then the next thing they say is usually something they propose to you. So it's like an idea they had and they want to tell you about it. じゃあ、この後, after this. この is this and 後 just means after. So after this, I 出かけます. 出かけます comes from 出かける, and 出かける is to go out. It's similar to 出る, but 出かけます really means to go out to a place. So for example, I'm going partying or I'm going shopping. All of these actions are under this umbrella of dekakeru. So whenever you hear somebody say that, it just means that they go out. And not out in terms of physical going out, but really going out with friends or going out somewhere. And then the nde is like node. Dekakemasu node. But she just abbreviates the no to n, which is often done, especially also with this nan here. But this can also be done, not very common, but it happens. So, dekakemasu nde. In a longer form, dekakemasu node. So, node means kara, but in polite form. Dekakemasu node. その時、それらしい子がいないか注意しておきます。Sono means that, and toki means time. So, at that time. それらしい, this それ is about what he said. And then らしい means like. So something like that or someone like that. And then she says ko. それらしい子. So a child like that. A child like you described. The それ implies that is his description. And らしい just means like, and ko means child. Ga is the ga particle. いないか. Inai is iru, so to be. Inai is the negative form, right? And inaika could also be made longer to inai kadoka. This is the correct grammar. Inai kadoka means if there is or not. So I'm gonna check if there is or not. And you can do this with all the verbs. So kare ga tabenai kadoka means if he eats or he doesn't. And here the verb that comes after this is what she does. Chui means attention or to be careful. She will keep her eyes open for a child like that. And okimasu here, we've had that in other episodes, I think, in previous episodes as well, where it's like a te form and then oku. Te oku is to do something in advance or in preparation for something. Arigato. Henna yatsu da. Hen means weird. It's an adjective, so here's the na. Henna yatsu. And yatsu is used for talking about a person, but it's really casual. A third party. You're talking about a third person with yatsu here. Henna yatsu. She's weird. And then the this. Te. This te comes from omou, because omou always needs the to or te in front of it. And this is the casual way to say it. Usually you would say henna yatsu to omou ko ga itara. But because they are talking very casually, or him at least very, very casually, he uses te. And usually it's just the te. It's not a double te like here because of the little tsu, right? But, well, it's just written out because he probably says it with a stronger T. So, henna yatsu datte omou ko ga itara. Yeah, I think they're just emphasizing this te. But usually when you write, you would probably just write the te alone. Omou means to think. Ko is child from kodomo, right? You can just say ko for child. Then the ga particle. And again, we have the iru verb. And this time, the iru verb is in conditional form. So if there is a weird child, then he says, tabun sore. It's probably that child. And she just kind of replies with, ha. Dewa, ja. Ah, そうだ。お子さん、お名前はYotsuba. Yotsuba. Yotsuba-chan desu ne. So here we have dewa, ja. These two words are the same. This is the polite version, and this is the casual way to say, well then. Ah, soda. Oh, by the way, or I almost forgot. Oko-san. Onamae wa? Oko-san is ko-san. So Japanese people love to add san to everything they want to be polite about. So for example, children put san at the end of animal names and also objects, because the Japanese culture teaches children that they have to take care of their things by making them, treat them like an animate object. So that's why they put san. So Mr. Table, for example, or Mr. Bottle, right? So here it's also Mr. Child. which sounds weird when translated, but it makes a lot of sense in Japanese because this doesn't really mean Mr., right? It's just a polite way of addressing someone. We just like to translate it that way. And o makes it even more polite. So this is just the way to say your child in a polite way. For example, anata no kodomo is not used, so you really just say oko-san. And then o namae wa. So again, it's polite because of the o. And then we have the name. So what is your child's name? And he answers with Yotsuba. Yotsuba-chan desu ne. Oh, so it's Yotsuba. The ne here at the end again is a end of sentence particle. Check out the particle video I did not too long ago because it's really important to know these. And here it's a way of confirming if what you say is true. So Yotsuba-chan desu ne. If it would be wrong, he would correct her again here. And down here we have three little people. I think that's children, and they're like "Ja ne, ashita asobo ne." So they're saying, "See you. Yeah, let's play tomorrow again." And here we see this is the child from here, I think, that was talking to her friends after parting ways. And let's see who she is. Ashita kara natsuyasumi. Tomorrow, or from tomorrow onwards, ashita kara, natsu, which is weirdly written with this tsu here, which isn't really how you write natsu, but again, the pronunciation is more important here than the actual correct writing, so this manga really goes for that. So natsu yasumi, this means natsu is summer and yasumi is holiday, so it's summer holiday. And then she notices something or someone, and she's like, And it's, guess who it is? Yeah, it's our girl, Yotsuba. And she's doing some weird stuff, as expected. Dare kana? Kono hen ja minai ko da. Nanka kawatta gaikoku no ko? Sore ni nani shiten daro? So, yeah, Yotsuba is doing weird stuff. And then she goes like, who is that? Dare kana? Kana is like the wondering sentence end particle. Kono hen ja minai ko da. Hen means this surroundings, so this place where they are at. Or you could just say around here. So kono hen is around here. Ja is kind of weird here, but it's like this in a way. But I'm actually not quite sure why she uses this. Maybe it will be explained later, but it sounds kind of old. But it's still very fitting. I'm not sure why she uses ja here though. Can't really explain it very well because it's not real grammar I've ever seen. But she just goes, kono hen ja minai ko da. So around here, this is not a child that is usually seen. So usually this child is usually not someone you see around here. Minai is the negative form of miru and ko is again child. This. Nanka kawatta. And kawatta comes from kawaru. So it means a little bit weird. And nanka means somehow. So somehow it's weird. Gaikoku no ko. Gaikoku is foreigner. And then ko is child. So a foreigner's child. Right? This is the possessive particle. Nanka kawatta gaikoku no ko. She asks herself, is this some weird foreigner child? Sore ni. Also, what is it doing? Nani shiten daro? Nani shiteru no daro would be the actual whole sentence, but as you know, Japanese people love to make stuff a little bit easier to pronounce. So nani shite, nani shiten, nani shiten no. I'm sure you've heard this if you've been around Japanese for longer than a few months. Nani shiten no. Nani shiteru no can be retracted to nani shiten no, or contracted. So she uses this here. Nani shiten daro. And the no here, well, usually you would say nani shiten no, but this is a direct question. So nani shiten daro, this daro comes from wondering something. So I'm wondering, what is it doing? Kuru? She looks around. わ、来た。なあ、あれなんだ。え？あれって、ブランコのこと？ So Yotsuba turns around, notices that she's there, and she tries to walk away, but Yotsuba just comes like a ghost and talks to her. And she's like, wa, kita. Oh, it came. And Yotsuba is like, na, are nanda. What is that over there? She's like, eh? Arete. So, te is when you quote something. So, she's quoting this are up here. Arete. And then buranko. Buranko is a swing. Actually, it does have kanji, so it doesn't have to be written in katakana. It's not a foreign word, but it's probably a little complicated, and many people would probably also write it in katakana, or I don't know why. It's just another form of writing it. No koto. Buranko no koto. So about that swing. Are you talking about that swing? Kiko. Ko. こうやって遊ぶの。おやる四つ葉もやる。はい。押して。はい。こう like this. こうやって遊ぶの。This is how you play with this. So, 遊ぶ is often used with a lot of things. It's not just to play with something, but also to do something in a playful way. This is just something that this word also encompasses, that the word play in English usually doesn't really or is not used for. And koyatte is the answer to, for example, the question doyatte. Doyatte is how do you do this, right? Do yaru. Yaru is to do, and do means how. So how do you do this? And the explanation often has this ko. So this is how you do this, right? Oh, big O. Yaru. I want to do it, or I'll do it. Yotsuba mo yaru. She refers to herself as Yotsuba. I think we've had this already. Many children do this. It's just a normal way for children to refer to themselves. They don't really say I. They say their own name. That's how they are taught, actually, as children. Yotsuba mo, so also Yotsuba wants to do this or does this. So will do this. I also want to do this, basically. And she goes like, hai. Yotsuba sits, and she just doesn't do it because she probably doesn't really know how. And then she's like, oshite. And osu means to push. So she's like, push me. The te form, of course, which is imperative. And the girl goes like, okay, hi. Oh. 自分でハンドをつけたら動くから。Oh. And then she laughs like a psycho. これじゃね。自分 means oneself, and 自分で means to do by yourself. Hando, which means to kick in a way, or like to use your legs to kick front, back, right? And ハンドつける means exactly that. ハンドつけたら動くから。動く means to move, and this is just an explanation. So if you do this, you will move. That's also why here we have the つけたら. This is again the conditional form, which implies this if. If you by yourself just kick in the air, you will move. Yotsuba does it and has a lot of fun. And then the girl is like, okay, I did my good deed for today, and is like, それじゃあね. Alright, I'll go. This is just a way to say bye. 変わった子だな。あ、そういえば、うちの隣の空き家に新しい人が来るって、もしかして。わあ変わった子だな。Again, we have this 変わる or 変わってる, which means weird. To be weird. And the na here is thinking to yourself. This often happens when you reflect about something to yourself, then you use this na at the end to show your emotions about something. So, 減ったな. So I'm hungry, or Nodo kawaiteru na. It's like you're telling yourself or you're expressing the feeling of whatever you want to say, right? So I'm hungry, oh god, I'm so thirsty. It's the same as if I would say this out loud. And she's just thinking this to herself. And then here she says, Buranko hajimete nano ka? So is it it's the first time she ever used a swing, weirdly, right? And then she's like, oh, soyeba, by the way, or talking about that, uchi no tonari no akiya ni. So uchi means me or us. And here it's like uchi no, so our, tonari no, besides. Our besides aki ya. And aki is open or free, and ya is house. So this means a freestanding house, a empty house. Aki also means empty. So an empty house which is next to us. Oh, by the way, talking about that, the free house next to us. Atarashii hito ga kuru tte. New people are coming. And te is something that somebody else said, and you have heard about that, but it's not something you know from the source, like it's not something you can 100% confirm, but it's something that you've heard. Often used here, just te. So like it comes from teiyu or teita, dareka teita, somebody said that. So that's why you use this particle here to emphasize this feeling of somebody said that and it's not your own knowledge. And here again, just atarashii, new, hito, ga particle, kuru. And then she goes like, moshikashite, could it be? Is it possible that? Could it be that this girl is one of the people that's moving into the free house? And she sees Yotsuba swinging way too hard for her age, and she goes like, what the So she rushes back, right? Wow! Wow! Te wa hanashicha dame yo. Te? And she, of course, lets go. But here she's telling her, like, don't let go of your hands. She's like, hands. Te hanashicha dame. And hanasu is to let go. So, te hanashicha dame yo. Don't let go of your hands. And the yo here, the sentence end particle yo, is usually a teaching nuance. So she's telling that to the girl from a standpoint of authority. So don't let go of your hands, okay? And she's like, hands? And of course she lets go. And she goes flying, bruh. Of course she's shocked. And Yotsuba just go, woo! For some reason she does a backflip, better than I could ever do. And she lands a perfect landing, of course. Daijoubu datta? She asks. And Yotsuba is just there like perplexed. What did just happen? And she goes like, koe. She stands up and is like, koe! And she runs away. Chotto. Yeah, a lot happened here, but she basically just jumps off right at the good moment because she lands a perfect landing. And koe here, koe. First I was a little bit confused about this, but again, just to tell you, this manga really emphasizes the way something is said and pronounced and not the way it should be written. So this is actually kawaii. But people often, when they're in shock or just their casual way of saying stuff is like kawaii, for example, becomes koe. So this is like a very impressioned way of saying an adjective. This is often done with adjectives that have ai at the end. For example, takai. Takai can be said like take, like in shock. What? It's so high. Take. Or itai. Ite. Like it's hurting. It hurts so much. Ite. I'm sure you've heard that. And this is the same. She's like koe. And yeah, she's in shock and runs away because it's scary, of course. And the girl is like, chotto. And here she wanted to say chotto matte probably, but many people leave the matte away. They're like just chotto, please, just a little bit, wait. The next slides, these two girls meet, and we will look at this in the next episode. I'm pretty sure we've already reached like 30 minutes or something, but it's been a lot of fun. Thanks so much for watching. I hope it was entertaining and kind of informational. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Mata ne!